There we go. Of the trading bell. I know it's timely, but I think Cole's more pushed about it than, because it's May. It's not, you know, they want to get back as soon as possible, but he shouldn't feel pressured that he needs to get it back within an hour. Thumbs up, please. Morning, Chris. Thumbs up, please. I'm just making sure that my screens work. Weaker than expected. Wah, wah. I don't want to join Pro today. Upside down. Fears. Ooh. Morning, Wendy. Hold on. Okay. I'll get you a I think I do need some sound stuff on those walls. I don't like the way that the microphone sounds. Ooh, look, it's AI related too. My camera is, what's it called? AI tracking. Boom, my camera tracks. The octopus, no, pull the octopus down, it's blocking my notes. The octopus can't be on the screen. Morning, Jacob. I'm reading about the horrible crash. Stocks are way, I mean, fuck, Meta. Buy it under 700. Is Tesla? Yeah, Tesla. Stocks jumped because of GDP. We're still in bad news is good news. So, I wonder if I should put this up. My hair is still not white. I'm only on day 2, so hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button if you think my hair is too golden. I look horrible. I mean, you know, honestly, there should be no way that my face should be on this screen in reality, but it is what it is. Did anybody buy CLS before earnings? Because this one's Celestica, a top stock pick. I mean, I think it dipped down to 111 up, and now it's at 118. It's going. This is it. And I was on live yesterday. I mean, that's the earnings candle. I mean, I said within this 5-minute window, the open is 100, the low is 140.45. The high is 109, and then the next candle, the high is 117, and you get all the way up to 118, 119 almost. And then this morning you're at 118 again. So, yeah. My mom likes I'm doing so they asked Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's a NFL quarterback, if anybody doesn't know. And he showed up at training camp with like super blonde hair. And they asked him, what made you go blonde? And he said, well, I see people do the tips and it just looks horrible when you just do the tips. So I just went full blonde and I'll let it grow in. That's what I do. That's my, I think Joe Burrow listens to this podcast because I've talked about it before. That's my strategy with hair. I got strategies for everything. Boy, and the algorithm didn't work on this one. I mean, it's going to get you in at 118, and it's probably worth it, to be honest with you, with this stock. I think, let me just check Credo. Yeah, Credo's up 4 or 5%. I mean, these two were kind of hand in hand. So, and Broadcom, I think, is up 4 or 5%. Broadcom is up 5.51. We'll go over all of that because there's big earnings day, and then we have Apple today. And I said it with Microsoft, man. I wanted Microsoft to go into earnings at 420, and it went in at 440, and it's just too. It was too high to go in at that rate. So it got pulled back down to 420. I mean, that's where the stock wants to live. And it's pretty clear over the time when GCT. I gotta sneeze. Bitcoin and crypto. Oh, nothing in Bitcoin and crypto. But buy your IBIT. I mean, God, IBIT's just flying again. Energy names. Thank you, Wendy. There's no reason to cry. I know the blanket is probably slightly taken off your head, but DRV. Low cost Vanguard. Full disclosure, I think the podcast has been better than the newsletter for 2 weeks. I try and do quality on both parts, but sometimes one just seems to be better than the other. And I do think it's not that the newsletter is lacking. I just think the newsletter needs some pizzazz. I think I was watching a dude the other day, Hassan, who's part of the Young Turks. He was on my girlfriend's son's Instagram and YouTube the other day, and so I decided to watch his stream, his Twitch stream. Dude has 40,000 followers, and the chat was just crazy. Roger, I'm too dumb to buy Bitcoin directly. And I like having it. I can buy IBIT in my retirement accounts. Don't have to pay capital gains on that stuff until I actually take it out. But I have my Roth as well. So there's a number of different things. I don't have to worry about getting hacked for my IBIT. I've had too many people who have had Bitcoin hacks. and no matter what, I mean, the reality of it is, you could do all you want to cover Coinbase, but if Coinbase decides, you know, hey, this person is this person, they let somebody in. And I don't want to do cold storage. I mean, it just seems like it's and then you got fees on Bitcoin. And you know, IBIT's not that horrible of fees. So, and the way that it works, the way I understand that it works is when you buy IBIT and when their assets under management grow, they actually are forced to buy Bitcoin. So the price goes up. Yeah. Just open up a Roth. I mean, you know, again, you can do, there are ways to do backdoor Roths. I mean, just talk to Fidelity. Fidelity's amazing. Yeah, and I did get Nader, who was on the stock battle, by the way. We were all three of us were laughing because all three of us are down on this stock battle that we did. But why do I have two of these open? Okay, let's open this up. I don't need that one open. Webull. Webull's such a good... God, if you don't have a Webull, I mean, go over here to the link tree, and it's this one down here, fifth one. I'm going to put you on some music. I'm going to go blow my nose real quick.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning
Okay. One of the things, by the way, that I'm going to do. But yeah, Alpha, the Webull, this link right here gets you free stocks. And my Webull account, it's made up of mainly IBIT, NVIDIA. Let's see, I have Apple, Google, IBIT, MSTX, NVIDIA, Spotfiy, and Tesla. Those are the ones that I am currently holding. And it's 11,500. But, you know, you get free stocks when you sign up. I put $1,000 in there. So Webull's definitely, to me, absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. Because I can trade in that like I don't trade. There's a psychology to trading in my Fidelity account that I don't want to mess with. And wow, I mean, the market just took off. Goldman Sachs is up 1.28%. Meta's up 2%. Tesla's up 4%. Uber is down 3% on I think it's the rumors that Waymo is starting in Texas and San Diego, I think. I think that's an overreaction at 3% down, but I think that's a $100 stock. You know, it just needs to get out of its own way. They need to report earnings, and they do it on, let's see, next week. Yeah, February 4th. So I like that one. I like that one a lot. Let's see, QQQ. Okay, we're gonna go over this. I've got a couple of social requests. One on an insurance company. And then DePat's in Facebook, I thought he brought up a good point. IGV, which is a software ETF. We'll go over that one. I do think that this particular one from Steve Kress is great. Top ETFs across asset classes. The top three are Bitcoin, utilities, and Argentina, which are great. great ones. Earnings, we're going to go over Apple. In fact, I probably should bring up, isn't there an Apple preview? Let me see. I probably should bring up underway. What is big tech saying about DeepSeek, Powell asset prices? They don't have an Apple. There we go. All eyes on the challenging year ahead. We're going to bring that one up. Okay, so we're going to bring that up here. And we'll put this over here. We have Deckers, we have Intel, and we have Atlassian. And we'll go back there. Celestica earnings. Oh God, do I have allergies or something? Celestica, why DeepSeek fears are overblown. This is a great one from one of the analysts, Michael Wiggins, who I really like. And he's had some luck with this. Michael Wiggins said strong buy here at February 15th of last year. He's up 152%, just so you know. CLS actually killed it with their earnings. Microsoft went down. It was a weird day for Microsoft. We'll go over the chart, but it's down 4%. I said it before that it wanted to live at 420, not at 440 going into earnings. Meta killed it, but they did guide weak, and it's up in pre-market, but I seem to think that you could buy this at 650, but just get it under 700 if you don't have exposure to it. Tesla killed it, even though they shouldn't. I don't understand why the stock is up, but I think it's an overpromise from Elon on a lot of things. Why is Broadcom up in this market? Because chips aren't supposed to be doing well. Well, it's from Meta. Anthropic CEO calls the NVIDIA drop ridiculous, baffling is what he said. The legend lives on. Jim Cramer. Too early to buy NVIDIA. It's up like 10% since he said that. Shai tells us what effect DeepSeek has had on all of the Mag 7. I thought that was really good insight. What is Big Tech saying about DeepSeek? Did I have this one already? No, I guess not. Biggest stock movers of the day. It's basically Tesla, Microsoft. I mean, it's stuff. Couple of things. I own CONL. Coinbase upped to neutral as Mizuho buys prices higher Bitcoin. And our favorite, I also own MSTX. Microsoft rated new outperform on Bitcoin. I have not done well on either one of those, but I'm hoping a Bitcoin rally kind of ducks. Powell mentions asset prices elevated by many metrics. He also mentioned crypto, and that's why I brought up those two articles. Fed policy isn't a reason to be bullish anymore. We are still in, and as shown this morning, as numbers came out, we're still in bad news is good news. So, and good news is bad news. Steve Kress, top 10 dividend stocks. He's still pumping the top 10 digital stuff. We're going to go over a couple of the Alpha Pick stuff and then this GDP stuff. Alpha Picks, T-Mobile, Synchrony Financial. I mean, everybody's harping on. Let me see. Can I bring this up? We're going to go to Seeking Alpha. I think I can go to Alpha Picks. Yeah. I think I can bring this up. Okay. So we'll bring that up. Alpha Picks here. They give you a DeepSeek AI breakthrough. They give you this. It's 170%. So we'll go over a couple of these. They give you a lot of insight for the money that you pay for this one. But it's why I recommend the bundle. So, okay. Has Alpha Picks ever trimmed positions when they grow too big? Yes, that's one of the rules. One of the rules when they sell, and I've got a screenshot that I'll share today with the rules. If you go to Alpha Picks, if you have Alpha Picks, Josh, just go to the About section, and the About shows you when they sell. And so there are 4 reasons the rating falls from sell or strong sell. The rating falls hold and remains at hold for 180 consecutive days. The company announces a merger and acquisition event in which it is the target or it announces a merger of equals. If a stock's position reaches 15% of the portfolio, it will be reduced to 10% to avoid a concentration risk. The proceeds will be distributed on an equal weight basis among other holdings in the portfolio. They also say when they sell something that you should do that as well. The proceeds go directly to just buying the entire portfolio again. And that's why having that spreadsheet handy that I did when I bought it, you obviously have to update it with the percentages and stuff like that, but it's pretty easy to do. But yeah, okay. There are 45 people in here, 19 thumbs up, so I'd like it to get a little bit higher on thumbs up. Eli, a couple of people wrote to me yesterday. I guess YouTube has decided that I'm popular enough that on my live stream, they're going to insert commercials on my live stream. So if it pops up, your boy needs some cheesecake for lunch. So that's essentially me getting paid less than a penny. I think, full disclosure, I think on YouTube, they pay me $100 a month in ads. So it's not like I'm making a killing over there, but do I want to get rid of that $100 a month? No. Because they would be inserting ads and I would not get a portion of it. So my belief is that's how it works. I don't know that that's how it works, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. If we pull this back to July, this is what was interesting the other day. The 480 is where everybody's buying, but there's a nice volume shelf between 511 and 517 that's popping up. We'll pull it back here. I'll show you. See where I put that previous kind of support that was broken and then came up, and we had a couple of days of resistance there. It's not super strong, but that's where that volume shelf is showing up, which is interesting. I mean, that's obviously just because that's where you're hanging out. But it's a good news. It's really good news. So, let me see. It is now 9:02. I think yeah. Okay. Okay, let me see. Okay. Okay. Let me see. I think I've got everything going on here. The show should be pretty good today. The shows have been, I've been getting some good feedback. Personally, I feel like they're pretty good shows. I think, there's some, again, if you're listening to me for more than a year or two, you're here mostly for, hey, let's get updates on stuff. If you haven't learned how to view stocks, and today's social request was perfect. Eric says, I just trolled Seeking Alpha and Trendspider, and one of my scans pulled up UNM. It's a global insurance company. So you guys in the audience, go look up UNM. Look up its competitors. Chart it against its competitors. What's it at in the quant? What does Wall Street think that it's worth? UNM. So, okay, we're going to pull this up. still have a gap here to 426. It's at 423. Yeah, CLS is big. Good morning. It is Thursday, January 30th. I think tomorrow's the 31st. Hold on, I got to pull up my calendar. Is tomorrow the, do we have 31 days? Yeah, we have 31 days in January. And I've got lunch today. So I've got a lunch appointment. I actually have something on my calendar, so I should probably be going pretty quick. Usually I don't have anything on my calendar, just so you're aware. But big show. We're going to go over Lending Club and some of the alpha pick stuff that happened yesterday. We're going to go when they sell, things of that sort. We're going to look at top stocks from Steve Cressy, still pumping these damn things out. Jay Powell's press conference yesterday was interesting. Jobs report this morning with GDP release, interesting. Crypto, he talked about crypto yesterday. We'll talk about the biggest movers today. DeepSeek is going to be in our thing. Shai tells us how it affected each of the Mag 7. Is it too early to buy NVIDIA? Do we have a dip? Anthropic CEO piped in on that one. Why is Broadcom up? And then earnings. We had Tesla, Microsoft, and Meta. And Celestica yesterday. If you don't own that one, I have no idea why you don't own that one. UPS is getting killed on earnings this morning. Tonight, we have Apple, Visa, Deckers, Intel, and Atlassian, and 7 ETFs from Steve Kress, which is interesting because there's it's an ETF sector theme. And then we'll go over an interesting social request that I got. But let's look at the Qs. How did we open up yesterday? We opened up at 522. We closed the morning session at 519. So in the afternoon, we opened up at 519. We closed at 520. Nothing. Yesterday's volatility was next to nothing. Today, we're opening up at 523, a little bit up. Why? Well, couple of reasons. First, the earnings weren't as bad as expected. Nobody said, oh my God, we're going to cut back on spending. Nobody said, hey, DeepSeek is a major, major issue for us. Nobody said these things are horrible, blah, blah, blah. And you had Powell just kind of lay it on the line that, hey, don't expect the Fed to push the market. Don't expect the Fed to cut anytime soon unless indicators tell us that we should cut. What's one of those indicators? U.S. GDP growth cools to 2.3% in Q4, weaker than expected. Okay, the consensus was 2.6. So it's an interesting one. 2.3 cooling from the strong 3.1 pace in Q3 and cooler than the 2.6 consensus estimate. So we're in the position where bad news is good news. And we've talked about this until we get to the point where good news, where the GDP is growing and that's good news, and boom, we're going to get up because of that. We're still in the sense of, hey, when it's bad because we're not growing as fast, maybe Powell's going to cut rates. And what's that? Good news for the market. If you, the old term, don't fight the Fed, we don't have the Fed on our side this year. So what's going to move the markets? It's earnings. Okay? That's what's going to move it. And we'll talk about more about earnings. I got some hate mail, and I looked at the comments yesterday on Alpha Picks. Lending Club slides on mixed earnings while Brinker sizzles up 15%. Let me just read to you 3 Alpha Picks from yesterday, okay? Because Lending Club did fall 20%. Now remember, the strategy for Alpha Picks is they release a stock on the 1st and the 15th. So you buy 1% of your portfolio. Lending Club is a recent one. And so when it fell 20%, you lost 20% of 1% of your portfolio. It was minor. It should have been minor if you're following the strategy. Okay, and the strategy of this portfolio is golden. EAT, which is Brinker, up 15%. T-Mobile, which is an alpha pick, up 6%. Synchrony Financial, up 3%. You can see the performance of the portfolio since its inception, right? I've gone over it year to date. Like I said, I tried picking and choosing these stocks for 8 months, and I didn't have luck. I simply put 1% of my buy on the 1st, 1% of my buy on the 15th, and I wait until they tell me to sell. Now, when do they sell? I will put this screenshot. If you have Alpha Picks, go to About. Okay, in the About section, I can't show you the About section because it shows the portfolio or something like that. But I will read this to you and I will put it in the newsletter. The About, when we sell, we notice subscribers via email when we close. We notify them via email when we close out or reduce a position size. We sell the entire position in a stock if any of the following occurs. The rating falls to sell or strong sell. So rule number 1. If the rating falls, they sell. The rating falls to hold and remains at hold for 180 consecutive days as long as the stock is not a quote-unquote winner. See below. The company announces a merger and acquisition event in which it is the target or it announces merger of equals. Again, 3 rules. Those are 3 rules. Okay? The only other rule that they have when to sell is the 4th rule, and this happens quite a bit. If a stock's position reaches 15% of the portfolio, it will be reduced to 10% to avoid a concentration risk. The proceeds will then be distributed on an equal weighted basis among other holdings in the position. Equal weighted. Okay, equal weighted meaning that if you have, say you make $3,600 and you sell a position, okay, equal weighted, and there's 100 positions in the portfolio. I think it's like 40 now, or let's say 36, because that's closer to the actual portfolio. 36 positions. Then you would buy $100 of each position. So that's how you allocate capital in this portfolio. Remember, you only buy if they sell a position and you have to allocate it to that, or if they tell you to sell. And those 3 rules above tell you when they're going to sell. So it's a rules-based portfolio. Okay? That's it. That's it. They tell you, go to the About section. And I will put in the newsletter, this About section, you just click on that. How do you get Alpha Picks? Well, you go over here to Linktree, and you've got 2 options here, okay? The first one is the bundle. You'll see me go through the quant rating. You'll see me rate stocks. You'll see me look at the valuation. That is Seeking Alpha Premium. No commercials, no ads, okay? You get Premium, which is normally $299, and you get Alpha Picks, which is normally $499 at a savings of $159, okay? That's how you get Alpha Picks. Say you just want Alpha Picks and you don't want anything else, or you want Seeking Alpha Premium and you don't want anything else. That's the 3rd and the 4th link here on Linktree. Everything is at Linktree. So make sure you go to Linktree and just go. And if you get the Seeking Alpha Premium, Steve Kress is continuing his top 2025 lists. These are the top 10 dividend stocks for 2025. Okay? Top picks include New Lake Capitals, John Wiley, Care Trust, Northrop Grumman, and Philip Morris. Am I buying these? No, I'm not a dividend investor. But if you need income, these are really, really good stocks. They rate highly on the quant. So now, let's talk about the Fed policy. Fed policy isn't a reason to be bullish anymore. Powell yesterday didn't shake the markets. He did say most likely won't be helped by the Fed. Rate cuts don't seem like something that he's going to do. Inflation is slowly going down, but not enough to cut. And the job market's okay, but not horrible enough to cut. Things are just fine. The term "don't fight the Fed" completely out the window. Because again, he's not going to help you. But he also said, hey, as long as things stay in line and we see it coming down, we're not going to hurt you by raising either. That was the fear at the beginning of the month, was that, hey, maybe the Fed's actually going to raise this year. Well, it depends. He was asked a lot about Trump's policies and the tariffs and said, hey, typically tariffs cause inflation. Typically, some of the things that they've been saying they're going to do will cause inflation. What did he say to that? And by the way, if inflation ticks up, make no mistake, Powell will have to raise rates. That will kill the market. That may be one thing that if we go into a higher recession, a higher inflationary environment, you may see the term recession again pop into the lexicon of the market. That doesn't mean that, oh my God, the bull rally's over, but it might mean, hey, we have some sideways and we have some chop. That's what I'm talking about, volatility this year. Okay? But we're not expecting to have the Fed on our side, but we're not expecting to have them against us either. And so don't fight the Fed. We're still in that way. You saw it with the release of the GDP numbers this morning. Good news or bad news is good because we're expecting the Fed will lower rates. Powell, asset prices elevated by many metrics with good part due to AI. I mean, this dude's mentioned an AI. It's an AI market. He also mentioned banks holding crypto. It was I thought his stance on crypto, super bullish. But his speech yesterday, it didn't cause the craziness that I was expecting because he kept it very, very low key. Very, very Jay Powell-like, which was good. But, again, his stance on crypto, with banks holding it, MicroStrategy upped to outperform at Mizuho on Bitcoin strategy. I own MSTX. Okay, we can take a look at MSTX if you want. This is a double leveraged ETF. Now, I trade it in this 4-hour algorithm. It told me to get out. I don't feel like getting out. It told me 3 days ago to get out. It hasn't got me back in. Here in pre-market, it is up at 2.67%. I bought at this $55. I was up. I've been down. I'm just sitting here because as long as it trades on this 50-day, I'm okay. And you see articles like this, it's going to trade with MicroStrategy. And see, in the pre-market, we're at 46. I think I bought at this 55. It's in my Webull account. This is a highly speculative position. Would I suggest this to anybody? No. No, absolutely not. My other speculative position is Coinbase. Coinbase up to neutral as Mizuho sees it posting higher. The quant says it's a hold. But I have not Coinbase, CONL. And how did I trade it? I traded on this 4-hour algorithm. Now, the algorithm did get you out yesterday with a 10% gain. Did I get out? No. I'm sitting here holding it. And this one is actually a rather large position. It's mid 5 figures. I'm not trading it on the 4-hour algorithm. I got in because it's above the 200-day. I saw the 50-day. We're above that 50-day. And I do think that the administration is very bullish on crypto, and Coinbase holds all that crypto. So I like it. I mean, that's just my strategy. I don't know what your strategy is, but I've identified that as my strategy. Now, if we dip below this 200-day at 39, you bet I'm getting out. You bet I'm getting out. I don't want to ride this one when it dips under that 200-day, like here in July, all the way down 50%. I'm going to get out. And maybe I'll move it to Coinbase itself. Again, double and triple leveraged ETFs are meant to hold for the day. Sometimes you can play them for a little bit. It's usually very, very risky. But if these things go to zero, am I worried about losing that? No, because the position size is not significant in my portfolio. But that's my reason for doing it. Always have a strategy. Always journal your trades. Always understand what you're holding. Okay? Biggest stock movers of the day, Tesla. We'll go over these earnings. Climbed 3%. It's up even more now. I think it's up 4 or 5%. This was crazy. We'll look at the after hours chart. It was nuts. It dipped down. Again, I say if you can get this and you want to hold it under 400, go and buy it under 400. I think the pump is real. Do I think that it trades down to the 200s? It could. But I think Elon is a master salesperson. So Tesla climbed. IBM, call your mom. It's now 1967 because IBM was up 8% yesterday on earnings. This may be a turnaround for this company. We may be seeing Big Blue come back into the picture as a legitimate tech company. Okay, Microsoft was down 4%. We'll talk about that one. I liked Microsoft heading into earnings at $420. I said this before their earnings. They were at $440. The earnings didn't support a $440 price target. So they got pulled down. Do I think you should buy it? Absolutely. I think it should be part of your portfolio. It is the number 1 or 2 position in my portfolio. It has grown to that. I have not managed that position well. Do I want to get out of it? Absolutely. I will show you a long-term chart, which shows you last year we did absolutely nothing in that stock. ServiceNow down 9%. This is part of an AI software platform. I think you could buy this on the dip. Okay, well, maybe I'll look at that chart. I don't have it in the list, but maybe we'll look at that one. But yeah, biggest movers. What do all of these things have in common? It's earnings. Earnings are moving the market. Okay, we are done with DeepSeek. With earnings underway, what is big tech saying about DeepSeek? They're kind of saying it's not that big of a deal. It's a big deal in that open source is going to win. And you see Meta moving up because they have the number 1 open source AI model. Okay, you see that one moving. You see Tesla saying, hey, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, what about DeepSeek? About the hundreds of $billions spent on AI especially. DeepSeek has had some real innovations from Microsoft. That's Satya Nadella. Meta's Zuckerberg made similar remark commenting that DeepSeek has done a number of novel things and they have advances that we will hope to implement in our systems. Okay, Zuckerberg said it's probably too early to really have a strong opinion on what this means for the trajectory around infrastructure and CapEx and things like that. There are a bunch of trends that are happening here all at once. There's already sort of a debate around how much of the compute infrastructure that we're using is going to go towards pre-training versus you get more of these reasoning time models or reasoning models where it's a long fucking quote. Sorry. I just can't read like that. The other thing is that we're building things like Meta AI, but also how we're implementing AI into all of our feeds. What you did notice with Meta, and I read this and I looked at this, their margins are expanding. What did they announce? They announced that they're getting rid of staff. What are they doing? They're implementing AI. So while you have a reduction, a guidance of reducing some of their earnings, you also have a reduction in their spending, in the salaries. And so when you get that reduction, I think this one's firing on all spaces. I think this one's firing on. I would look to this one. Now, what is DeepSeek? The impact of Mag 7? Here, Shai goes through all 7. All 7. All 7 of them. And I think he did a good job. If you want to know what DeepSeek's risks in the Mag 7 are, I think this is a good summary. This is the elevator pitch. This is what you need to know if you're investing in these Mag 7 because DeepSeek did change the game. And are these 7 going to be, are the big going to become bigger? Or are they going to shrink because China's model just shows you can do it with less? And will competitors pop out of these small cap names? That's what I think is interesting. Now, let's talk about NVIDIA because I got a bunch of questions. Is it too late too early or too late to buy NVIDIA? Well, Jim Cramer tweeted, okay, January 28th at 10:14 a.m. That's where this chart is. NVIDIA trying to make a stand here. I think it's still too early to buy. Have to clean out more sellers. No real crescendo. Let the sellers sell. Don't take them out at higher prices. That moved from under 120 to 125. Just on that Jim Cramer news. I mean, the man is unbeaten. And if you want to know what some people think about the NVIDIA plunge, the Anthropic CEO said the NVIDIA plunge is baffling. Baffling. The quote here, if China can't get millions of chips, we'll at least temporarily live in a unipolar world where the US and its allies have these models. It's unclear whether the unipolar world will last, but there's at least the possibility that because AI systems can eventually help make even smarter AI systems, a temporary lead could be paralleled into a durable advantage. Thus, in the world, the U.S. and its allies might take commanding, long-lasting lead on the global stage. That is from a leading AI Service, Anthropic. That's their CEO. So what does he believe? He believes NVIDIA should continue to grow. And Wall Street for NVIDIA, they're not taking their price down, 173. Look at that chart. This is the 5-year chart of it. Where are they taking it? They're taking it up. Do I believe that? Yes, I believe that this is fine. Now, it's going to determine what we see in their earnings. NVIDIA's earnings will be key because if they guide even slightly down, or if somebody comes out and says something, look out below. This was the DeepSeek drop. It caused a gap from 128 to 142, which we haven't seen filled. Okay, we have seen it start to fill. So if you want to buy here at, let's see, 123, I think you do have a pump to 140. Their earnings are coming up on February 26th. So you have a long time between now and then. When you look at a weekly chart, it doesn't look like, oh my God, it's completely reset itself. It looks like it's been trading sideways with that 140 as a resistance level, and the RSI has come down to 46. When was the last time the RSI was below 50? It was September 2nd when the stock was trading for $100. $100. It was back here where it was 51 in October, where the stock was trading for $39. Okay, 2023. You haven't seen the RSI on a weekly drop like this. Okay, if we are heading into a 2021 into 2022, where you saw on the weekly, the RSI go from 85 all the way down to the October low of 30, we are already at 46 on the weekly. Okay, so if you're looking to buy this, I do believe that if for some reason there is any CTO that comes out and says we've got plenty of compute power, then this one, look out below. Just look out below. Now, why was AVGO up? Meta said servers was MTIA inference. I have no idea what this says. No idea. But it's Zuckerberg comments. It's Zuckerberg comments. And AVGO, remember the difference between NVIDIA makes NVIDIA chips. AVGO, which is Broadcom, makes custom chips. So when Apple makes their own chips, when Google makes their own chips, when Amazon makes their own chips, it's AVGO. Okay, Credo, the number one stock for the top 10 from Seeking Alpha, that is a competitor of AVGO. It's a small cap. I think it has more room to run. I like Credo. I like AVGO. I own AVGO. I'm looking to get into Credo. But AVGO is up like 5% on this one. We will talk about CLS, which is Celestica, which killed it on earnings as well. But yes, why are they up? That's it. So what's moving this market? It's AI and it's earnings. Back and forth. So let's talk about Tesla. We talked about yesterday, I showed you a video of Tesla cars driving themselves off the production line into their parking spot. It was super, super interesting. And I want to pull up this Tesla chart because I was watching this live. If you're not on Substack, okay, there's two ways. Go over here to the link tree, get this Substack newsletter, sign up for this newsletter, and you'll see Don't Fight the Fed and the earnings. Yeah, I was in my freaking kitchen. I was in my kitchen, but I was live on Substack during this. Go and you can watch this. If you want to get alerted, you need to download the Substack app. Okay, it's only live on the app. But when I was looking at this, we'll pull up this after hours. If we go to a 5-minute chart, you can see the earnings were released right at 4 o'clock. It dipped. It dipped. The low here was 365. You could have gotten this for 365. Okay, under $400. Now, I thought it was going to continue down. The earnings weren't that great. They weren't shocking. There was nothing. And then on the call, Elon went full Elon. Okay, the call started around 5 o'clock. I was on Spaces with Wolf. They started listening to the call. I didn't want to sit on freaking Spaces and listen to a call, so I just jumped off. But Elon went full Elon, promising the world. He promised humanoid robots. He promised full self-driving is going to start in June in Austin. He promised, unsupervised full self-driving. That's where the Waymo style stuff, where no drivers in the car. And he promised full production of the robotaxi in 2026. Full production. Okay, at $380, buyers showed up. What does that tell you? Well, let's take a look at where $380 is. We'll just put a line across 380 because is there any significance to 380? Let's see. We'll put it in there. We'll pull it back here. Is there any significance to 380? Oh, look. This weekly candle, December 30th, the low 373. Right around 380. Oh, the low here, the next week, January 6th, 383. The low here, 380. Okay, it's clear. That seems to be the catalyst point, and that seems to be the new support. So if you're buying here at 410 and you break 380, sell. Have that as your bottom level, okay? Because weekly, look at that MACD. The RSI is still at 65. So if you're buying thinking that, yeah, Tesla's going to have a pump, and I do believe it's up 5% at 411. The market just opened up and it moved 2% up. You know, we can take a look at a 5-minute chart on this one. Let's take this one off, take the off hours. Look, you got a huge gap here. Okay? You've got a huge gap on, we're going to just look at it daily. Let's look at it daily. Because yesterday we closed, the high yesterday was 398. So if you don't pull back to 398, you're going to have a small gap. So 400, between 400 and 380 should be where you're buying. That, for me, that would be a comfortable level. And you can read all about the stuff. He talks about everything, but it's full Elon. And I've been more wrong than I have been right on this stock. I own it through XLY. I am perfectly fine holding through XLY and holding my small position in Webull. Now, Meta's completely opposite. This was a great quarter, but they guided light. And so am I worried about this one? No, it's firing on all cylinders. I think Zuck is probably the best CEO in this space right now. The stock is trading at 696. You've heard me before. I said just literally a month ago, if you can buy this under 600, buy it under 600. And you had your chance many, many times. January 14th, 589. The stock is trading at 693. It will get over $700. And if you just want to look at, again, they are firing on all cylinders. It is a hold in the quant. And the reason is the valuation and growth. He's spending a lot of money. Where does the average price target sit? 706. Do you want to buy it here at 696? I don't know. I'd wait at least 3 days. But if you dip under 650, go and get it. Go and get it. There is nothing that tells me that this one's pulling back at any time. Look at how the MACD pulled back and we traded sideways, and you can see how that 550, it was resistance. It was resistance. It was resistance. Then it turns to support. Where's the support now? I would say it's at about 620. If you can buy this at between 620 and 650, I think you're good. But again, they guided light. This is for long-term shareholders. Or just buy QQQ. Then you have exposure to both Meta, Microsoft, and everything. Microsoft, they reported. It wasn't a shit show, but it wasn't like, oh my God, look at this. 416. I liked this one at 420, and I think I said it in live on Substack, is I like it going into earnings at 420 more than 440. It went into earnings at 440. Now you're going to have maybe a gap down on here. We can go and take a look at a daily on this one. You might have a gap because yesterday's candle, we closed at, we closed at 442. You closed at 442. The low was 440. Get in under 420. I mean, honest to God, it's not stretched. But if we take a look at this, and this was a channel that I drew yesterday during the live on Substack. This goes back to January 2024. This goes back 1 year. The stock has done nothing. So if you can buy it below this level, I think you're okay. Where's the absolute low? It's at about 400. So if you can get it under 400, get it. But start adding this. I don't think Microsoft is a throw it out the window. It's not. I don't think that it's worth what Wall Street says that it's worth, which is 508. It's going to take quite a bit to get there. And I don't think they have right now the gumption to actually get there. Satya Nadella is still putting some things in. I just don't see this one getting down to this level at 326. It's expensive, yes. Its valuation is a D-. The reason? The PE is 35. The forward PE is 33. You're trading almost 34 times forward earnings. The sector, which is system software, is trading at 29. It's expensive, even the PEG ratio, because the growth doesn't add up. Okay, it doesn't add up. Working capital, minus 58%. They're just spending a lot of money. And you can go and read about it in the AI report. Again, as part of your Seeking Alpha subscription, you have basically an analyst working for you. And it goes over. Valuation is stretched compared to its peer. Growth metrics are robust. Microsoft's strong growth. Microsoft boasts exceptional profitability. A+. Microsoft's momentum is weak. 3-month price performance of 1%, below the sector at 4%. Revisions. Recent earnings revisions are concerning, with 33 downward earnings per share and only 8 upward, indicating a negative outlook. It was priced in. But it was priced in at 420. It wasn't priced in at 440. And so I think you're good on that one. So next one, Alpha pick, Celestica, killed it, absolutely killed it. And let's take a look at this one, because this one we were waiting for at 4:15 while live on Substack. And if we just look at the after hours here, it really started pumping around 4:20. This is that's 4:30. Okay, this is a 5-minute candle. That is a 7% move in 5 minutes. You are hanging out here at 100. You pumped all the way up to 120. Okay, 121 was the high in pre-market. Now you've given it up. Where do I think you're pulling back to? I think you're pulling back to 106. Okay? Do I think you should buy between 100 and 106? Maybe. The 4-hour algorithm, we can go and look at it. We're going to run this 4-hour algorithm. It had you out. It had you out with a 7% loss here, January 28th. It hasn't gotten you back in. If we go and look at a weekly on this, that MACD is incredibly stretched. This weekly candle starts at $86. That's this week. Okay? You could have bought this during this week at $86. The high, 116. That's just during market hours. Remember, in pre-market, you got to 121. Does it have 121 in it? Absolutely. This is Michael Wiggins, who has reviewed it. Celestica Q4 earnings, why DeepSeek fears are overblown. He's got a buy rating. How long has he had a buy rating? He put a strong buy rating here February 15th. He's up 152%. Believe him. Believe him. I like this one, and I liked this article on Celestica. If you haven't read it, go and read it. What's their competitive advantage? He goes over everything. Celestica stock has been volatile but remains strong with a raised 2025 outlook and a valuation of 30 times forward free cash flow. I like this article. I like this one. I like this stock. It is one of the top 10 stocks from Seeking Alpha. If you want to read that article, you can. Okay? UPS is getting absolutely killed in pre-market. Absolutely killed. UPS slides after cutting business with its largest customer by 50%. 50%. 50%. Its largest customer, Amazon. Amazon's in their own shipping business. They're doing better than UPS. They can actually, Amazon is implementing AI to say, hey, what's cheaper? Shipping through UPS, shipping through FedEx, shipping through our own shipping company, or somebody else, maybe the US mail. Although, if you ship it through the US mail, you're waiting 5-6 weeks. UPS is just getting killed. It's at this point a commodity, shipping. Okay? They're gonna get squeezed. But UPS is just one of those that might get squeezed. Now, Today's earnings, we got Apple. Here's the earnings preview. All eyes are year ahead after a challenging 2024. Let's take a look at the chart. Because is Apple going to double from here this year? No. Does it have 10% in its growth? Probably. But we just talked about 2024 for Microsoft. Let's pull this back and we'll go back to January 2024 here. Okay? We're just going to put a straight line on that, and we're going to put a straight line on that. That looks a hell of a lot better than what Microsoft looks like. Okay? Does it look like a buy? No. I would say that 210 probably is your ultimate support. If we see a pullback today, I think you see it to 210. And if we see a pullback, you might want to think about buying. Now, this is a weekly. The MACD is still high. The RSI is coming off of 45, and you had that nice 10% move over the past week. You could have bought this at 224. That was the low this week. The high, 240. Where are you trading right now? 240. So I like it going into earnings. I just liked it at 220 more than I like it at 240. Same kind of thing as Microsoft. I think it's too strong into earnings. But these guys have a way of announcing a major buyback. Remember, they're not spending $80 billion on artificial intelligence. They're doing it the smart way. And their monetization of actual AI is in hardware. And DeepSeek has shown that if you can make a lighter model that uses less energy, you can put it on smaller devices. So, and all of the DeepSeek stuff that we've seen running on small, it's all on Mac computers. It's not on Windows computers. And so Apple Silicon, they make their own. They do it through Broadcom. Again, you've got to understand that I think Apple continues to do things the right way and smart. It's why I continue to hold it. Yes, I sold at 260. Do I think that I think it was 257. I may be overstating 260. But if I sold at 260, am I buying back at 240? No, I want to wait through earnings. I don't think that 240 is a logical price for this. I think it wants to go to 220. And I think that weekly wants to pull back. And I think the market, any indication that the market has that the iPhone super cycle is not in place and that Apple Intelligence isn't working as well, we all know Siri's riding the short bus to school. It's not buying they're not riding the real bus. It's not good. It's not good. But I still feel comfortable sitting here with my Mac Mini, with my iPhone in front of me, with my Apple Watch, with my AirPods in the other room, and my iPad Pro. Because I know the second these guys launch something that is game-changing, not the Vision Pro. The Vision Pro was just a joke. But remember when the watch came out? The watch is something, it's funny because I never wanted an Apple Watch. I never thought, God, I need an Apple Watch. But it turned out to be one of those things that I absolutely love and I must have. But I don't think that the Vision Pro is there yet. The first version of the Apple Watch was horrible. The Vision Pro, I don't think we're there yet. I think Meta, with their glasses, killing it. At $300, those glasses are killing it. I know a few people who have them. They love them. It actually takes very good video. So, again, Meta's firing on all cylinders. Now, this is Steve Kress again. You may say, hey, I don't want all of this exposure to single stocks. He goes top ETFs across asset classes. Okay, I'm going to give you the top three because the top three are what I've been telling you. Okay, this factors in the quant with all of this stuff. It's IBIT is number one. Number two, we've talked about Argentina with Stanley Druckenmiller, ARGT. And number three is Virtus Reeves Utilities, UTES. Utilities, power, Argentina, exploding economy, and then Bitcoin. So if you want to read the rest, go and read the rest. Now, I got a great social request from Eric on email. He says, Gary, I was trolling Seeking Alpha and Trendspider, and one of my scans pull up UNM. Let's look at UNM. He says, it's a global insurance company focused on life, disability, and death dismember. God, It's competitors to Aflac and MetLife and Prudential. I charted against its competitors as well as Allstate and it is blowing them all out of the water. It's a strong buy in the quant with a 7% upside from Wall Street, not typical ones that I would look at, but is it a possible pickup? Any thoughts? Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, I'm going to look at it, and Eric, you did it exactly. This is what I try and teach people. Not that I'm going to tell you, oh my God, this is the next greatest thing. Many times you guys bring me these stocks. But the system is, let's look at the technicals, let's look at the fundamentals and see if there's an opportunity. So Unum Group, we can see it's trading around this $70 mark. Let's put in a shelf here. I mean, if we put in a line here, I would say that, this previous high right here, maybe that's a support line at 73. We're trading at 77. The algorithm's gotten you in a couple of times. The algorithm makes you 66% versus buying and holding over 24 months makes you 93%. So it's not bad. The MACD has reset. It reset at that 72 level. So maybe we're just going for a bigger run. You can see the Bollinger Bands. We're trading at the top of the Bollinger Bands. They have earnings coming up February 4th. We might be a little bit overbought here at 69. Again, insurance companies, when they're paying out, you don't want to buy when they're paying out. You want to buy during solid times when they're actually earning because they do have pricing power. You need insurance. I don't know enough about Unum's fundamentals, but we can go and read the analyst report. Let's then look at, when in doubt, zoom out. Let's look at the weekly. You see kind of a straight flat there. Bollinger Bands cinching up again. They're not quite where they were here in July, where the stock was trading at 53. MACD completely stretched. 5 points over the oscillator? It hasn't been this stretched in a very long time, if ever. The RSI is coming off at 77, 83 levels, and you're at 73. So it is overbought. It's overbought. That's completely overbought. 200-day moving positive. All the moving averages moving positive. So let's go over to Seeking Alpha. Like you said, you charted it against other insurers, and it's killing it. Quant says it's a strong buy. $14 billion market cap. So it's not super, super tiny, but it is considered a small insurance. Now it's number 2 out of 19. Who's number 1? MFC. MFC has 4.87. That's just based on the quant rating. And MFC has a much larger market cap at $52 billion. So, and they have a significantly larger dividend. If that's your thing, if you want to do the dividend thing. But let's go over and look at UNMM. A strong buy in the quant. When did it go as a strong buy in the quant? 73.33, right around that 73 level. It was a strong buy at 72. It moved up and it continues to go between strong buy and buy. It hasn't been a hold since 57, back in July. And why was it a hold? It was a hold because of the momentum. But the momentum has turned into an A. The momentum, 25% over 3 months. 44% over 6 months. Fantastic momentum. Valuation, a little bit stretched. Nothing crazy. It's mostly the price to book, which I don't know what the price to book does, but we'll check the AI analyst. Growth, it's a B minus. 4% revenue growth year over year. It's not the best. Levered free cash flow down 55%, but for some reason the quant thinks it's a B minus. I don't know that it fits my huge buy, but we can take a look at that. Revisions. You can see 11 up, 1 down. If we go and look at Wall Street, like you said, it's got a 7% upside to 82. There's 13 analysts that cover it, so it's not tiny. And you can see they continue to take it up and it chases it. So is this a good one? Let's look at the peers per se. It doesn't seem to be, oh, come on. Why are you not giving me the charts? There we go. UNM, life insurance, life and health insurance. It's got NN Group, AGN, Global Life. Global Life is actually in our watch list. I don't know why I put it in the watch list. I think it was something. But it's up 61%, and it's blowing everything away. You can see it's the only one that's a strong buy in the quant. When you look at the returns, again, looks like it's blowing everybody away on a longer term basis. Dividend yield, it's got an okay dividend yield. I mean, that's what you buy insurance companies for, is to make you cash. As far as the PE goes, it's one of the most reasonable. So I don't think this is bad. I don't think this is bad at all. Let's see what the analysts think about it. Leading provider of financial. Again, Aflac, MetLife, and Prudential. He charted it against this, Eric did. Valuation, favorable, valuation. Its P of 8 is significantly lower than the sector median at 13. Showcases impressive growth metrics with earnings per share year over year at 47%. That's EPS, not revenue. Far exceeds the sector average growth of 0. Profitability is robust. Return on common equity of 17%. Momentum, outstanding. Earnings revisions, encouraging. Positive, recognized for its robust financial health, featuring low leverage and high liquidity, which provides significant flexibility for growth initiatives. The company has demonstrated a strong operational performance. What are the concerns? Mature business model. Modest growth prospects pose challenges for long-term investors. The company faces significant exposure to interest rate risk and longevity risk. Remember, insurance companies typically take your money and they invest it, so they make money based on the returns of that money. And that's how they pay out their stuff. I just know this because I worked in insurance, and it's just kind of one of those things, Competitive pressures in group disability and life insurance markets could impact premium growth and earnings. So you're taking it on the chin. You got to take a look at it. This one was written on 1/15, so it's about 15 days old. It's not bad. Again, it's not bad. I don't think it's not my thing. And by the way, Allstate is an alpha pick. And we can chart this against Allstate because, both are strong buys, different sectors per se, but they're both insurance. But you can look at Allstate versus UNM. UNM's killing it. You look at 3-year, UNM is killing it. You look at 5-year, UNM is killing it. 6 months, let's pull in a little closer. UNM killing it. 1 month, UNM killing it. 5 days, UNM killing it. So I don't think it's a bad one. What I would do with this one, the way I would play is if I thought this was a fantastic buy and I'd want to get in, full disclosure, I don't want to get into insurance. It's just not my thing. But if I were doing this, I would probably play this like Allstate because Allstate is an alpha pick and it's one of the most recent ones. And you take 1% of the portfolio that you want to build and you start building a position in UNM. And then as it starts to win and it grows, you can add to it. Use the 4-hour algorithm as your way to add to it. Because, again, the 4-hour algorithm has a 65% win rate. You make 66%. Your average win is 5%. So I don't think that would be a bad strategy. And then DePats from Facebook. Since Gary mentioned a bunch of ETFs today, check out IGV. IGV is the iShares tech software, and he lists the top 10 holdings. Salesforce, Microsoft, Oracle, ServiceNow, Adobe, Intuit, Palantir, PanW, Palo Alto, CrowdStrike, CDNS. It's a great ETF. And the expense ratio, not bad. We'll take a look at it. The algorithm makes you 86% versus buy and hold at 93%. Again, with an ETF, I would just buy and hold and look for entries. And that $99 was a good entry, right around that 200-day. Is it extended on the weekly? I mean, you tell me. MACD seems to be a little bit high. Software, they seem to be getting a bump. The RSI at 60. Last time it was at 60, the stock went from, looks like 90. It went all the way up to 110. So we could be getting ready for another move. Again, you want to take these indicators not as absolutes, but you want to take them as a whole and just a picture of what you're trying to see. So let's go over to Seeking Alpha and let's look up IGV. And let's see what the quant says about IGV because it does rate it. It says it's a buy. Seeking Alpha analysts say it's a sell. How many? One. He said it's a sell here at November 29th, and he's down 1%. Ignore him. I like the quant saying it's a buy. And you can take a look at the holdings here, and we can take a look at the summary. Specifically, the expenses is what I want, 0.41. It's not crazy. You can take a look at the peers. They have other tech software ETFs. And if we just look at this, the one that's actually leading the way is PTF. It's a momentum ETF. Okay, PTF is a momentum. It's a buy. The momentum is an A. And if you look at the expenses, 0.41. This one's 0.6. If we take a look at the holdings, it's Rigetti Computer, Apple, NVIDIA, again, IONQ, Credo, Dave. This is a momentum technology ETF. It's killing it. If you look at the year to date, it's up 0.37. 6 months, it's up 23%. Okay, 1 year, it's up 40%. That's beating the S&P. Because if you go over here to charting and you look at 1 year, PTF is up 40%, S&P is up 22%. So again, these are the rabbit holes that you can go down with these tools. So you saw the 4-hour algorithm. You saw everything that I used. Now go over to Linktree, LINKTREE. Get yourself Trendspider. This comes with the 4-hour algorithm. Okay, you can get it on standard, enhanced, or advanced. I steer you towards the advanced. Remember, standard is only like, $600 for the year. And that's an amazing, amazing platform because you get the 4-hour, you get everything that I do, but you don't get a one-on-one training session. You don't get the AI strategy lab. And you only get, you don't get the simultaneous, you get 30 simultaneous alerts. And the trading bots are not there. But again, if you have it within your budget, spend a little extra, $300. Think about taking 2 training classes per month. It's $40 per training class. Name another training class that can, comes with $40 a month and the software that comes with it. And it's unlimited. So if you want 4 classes, you can take 4 classes. That means your average training class in a month is $20. $20. So it's interesting. Again, that's one. And then the Gary bundle includes Seeking Alpha bundle. Okay. There are 3 tools that I mainly use. It's Trendspider, it's Seeking Alpha Premium with those analyst recommendations and the quant, and it's Alpha Picks, which is just a no-brainer portfolio that outperforms everything. The Alpha Picks portfolio just outperforms everything, and it's a no-brainer because I don't even have to think about it. And they've had winners like EAT, like CLS. Go and look up those symbols and tell me you had the balls to actually buy in when years ago. A Modine Manufacturing. Again, these are stocks that I knew nothing about. I spent 8 months trying to pick and choose which ones I wanted. It didn't work. So I just bought the entire portfolio and it's been going well ever since. It's a long-term portfolio. If you have any questions, hit me up. I've gone on for 52 minutes. It's been a long one. I thank you for listening. Again, January 30th. We have Apple earnings today. I might go live on Substack, so make sure you download the app. Okay, take care. See you. Bye. Palantir, I don't know what I would think about Palantir going higher. I mean, you can see that $84 fib level right there. Probably, going to provide some resistance, but the downside is just too high for me. The volume indicators are pointing down. Everything to me just points down, and the valuation, and even the weekly, just, you put in those fib levels, and it just, 54 is, this was January 13th. It got down to 63. 54 is a real number, I think. So Palantir for me is, I've been staying away from it, to be perfectly honest with you. DGen mode in Vegas. I'm not a big fan of insurers. Dan, I think insurance plays a part in our society. But the way an insurance company makes money is to collect more money from you than they pay out. And so it's not something that I'm like super fond of, but it's not like a cigarette company, which just outright kills you. So I will put it in my list of, I'd rather invest in a tech company that provides something of value to people. And even that, people may argue with how social media is like crack and it's been bad on our society, and so you pick and choose your battles. I think that's my thought on it. And I've got to get going because I do have a yeah, it's 10 o'clock. And I've got an 11:30. I think it's 11:30 or 12 o'clock meeting at lunch. Copy. And let's export the file. Boom. 131.30 pod. Wah. Yeah, you've done well on Palantir. Shit, I trimmed half of that going into earnings. If it's a tax related thing, yeah. I mean, is Palantir going to 100? I don't think so. Is Credo or CLS going to 120? I think so. So I think, you know, similar to those things, there's just better ways of monetizing it. So okay, who's calling me? I think it's probably Chad. Yeah, it's Chad. Let's see. Oh, we need to reschedule. Okay, so my lunch is rescheduled. Let's see. Today, what's my main portfolio? TradingView is not bad. So here, I think they serve different purposes. I think Trendspider is significantly better at customizing and giving you the ability to create, if you will, with their custom indicator. I think they do a much better job of that. TradingView, I think, has a much better community than Trendspider. Stop. But their support is so lacking. I've never had good support from TradingView. Never. Not once. Trendspider, you go down in the bottom right-hand corner and you say, contact us. Try and find somebody at TradingView that's going to give you unlimited one-on-one training for a year. You'll pay a fortune for that. And then you've got to pay for TradingView. So I think it's just, you know, whichever one you want. But I am significantly underperforming the market today. I am down 0.02% in that portfolio. My Webull portfolio is up 2%. So, okay. Wah. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I am out of here, guys. I appreciate you, but I gotta run. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Maybe live today on Substack. So if you're interested, just download the app. It's free to subscribe, and I'll do it live for free for everybody. So I don't limit it to paid subscribers for the live. During earnings, there are lives when I go just for paid subscribers, but if you're interested, hop on. See you, Chris. Have a great day. See you. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the
See, you're crying because she took your bet.
Making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears.